But what of Lower Decks Star Trek? Yeah, today, finally, episode 282 of Trekland Tuesdays Live with me, Dr. Trek, Larry Nemecek, coming at you right here from the heart of Trekland, right through Portal 47, for some sanity, clarity, and the big picture in all things Star Trek every week. Let's hope that the folks who see this later can join us live at some time if you're watching later on YouTube. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Lots of things going on in the world at large, as well as right here. But for right now, we're on Prodigy, and people are being, again, blown out of the water. A Borg show on Prodigy? There's all kinds of fan theorizing going on about what that Borg cube, spoilers, is going to mean, not just for Prodigy and for its characters, but maybe in the bigger world of Trek as well. I say all that because Lower Decks yes, just finished its season a couple of weeks ago. And what I wanted to do, and I do this from time to time when I'm remembering to do a newsletter. So good on me. I finally started my news list again. Never went away. It just, I got busy this year, unlike ever before. So if you're not on our list, just go to LarryNemecek.com and jump on. There's a freebie that I will send you that right now is paused just because we're going into open house. Yes, I said our open house. I have our guest. We just are waiting on the day. So I can't wait to tell you who's going to be our open house 7th anniversary for Portal 47. We mark the anniversary every year by opening the doors up live, having a guest come in. Can't wait to share with you who that is. I can't wait to figure out what day it will be. But later this month, as we've done for 6 years prior. Why did that come up with Lower Decks? I didn't mean to. It may not necessarily have anything to do with Lower Decks, aside from the fact of, are more folks actually paying attention to Prodigy? Is Prodigy finally starting to get its due? Because it felt like, again, with an overlapping season, Lower Decks didn't really get a finale hoo-ha. I know, talking about Cadet Alice and Prodigy and some of the increased attention, you'd never think that Lower Decks was starved for attention. But it just feels like it. I guess it's almost inevitable. Whenever we have any of the shows overlap their finales and their premieres, somebody gets a little shortchanged or they both do. So I wanted to do a questionnaire survey, take a poll on our Trekland list. And again, go to LarryNemecek.com. You can get on it for next time. But I just want to do a sample and see where folks were with Lower Decks now that the whole season was ended, now that that's been 3 seasons in the can, 30 episodes, 30 half hours. And just see, because Lower Decks, in the era of controversy a week, which was basically 2016 through, I don't know, now, I feel like we're on snooze now. And that's not to say anything about the quality of the shows. That's about crazy fandom, thank God, has moved on from thinking there had to be something ginned up. People getting over the hump of realizing what the new era of TV, much less Star Trek, was going to look like, what streaming, what serialized storytelling, and how different paradigms can interact. Comics, gaming, books, and the TV. It's a new world. And what is it, the Latinum age now? What are we in? The Kurtzman era. Lower Decks, as many of you know, started off, oh, we can't do comedy. Oh, we can't. I'm not doing Rick and Morty Star Trek. I am not paying attention. I cannot stand to have my holy, holy, holy Star Trek universe subjected to mere jokes every week. Oh, why didn't Seth MacFarlane do that? Even Seth MacFarlane didn't do it. I mean, we got it all. And as I've said before, I don't think anything in Star Trek, much less the 5 years, has snapped the scale, has done a whiplash on the attitude toward Lower Decks. It went from one of the most feared new concepts to one of the most embraced and beloved. And I know a lot of people don't appreciate, they don't get the humor of Lower Decks, and we've even surveyed for that too. In fact, we're still doing it. But what I wanted to know is, there's a great swath of people who do enjoy it and who watch it. What's interesting is, what's pushing the envelope of that attention? Where does that lie? So yeah, I did a survey, got it out with plenty of days, did it middle of last week to our list. And basically I said, now that season 3 is over, what's your feeling about Lower Decks? And it wasn't just I like it, I don't like it. We had a spectrum on the I like it. And I'm bummed because I have to say, I did a typo in the newsletter, didn't catch it. So one of the options was unclickable. So it didn't show up in the standings. And I know if you look on Trekland Facebook, there's at least 4, 5, 6, 7 people or privately who have told me that's my choice and I couldn't click on it. So they click something else or they whatever. It's kind of in the wishy middle. It's not like it's going to skew anything one way or the other, some of the extreme answers. And maybe this was you and maybe you're going to sound off here. But basically, I had options ranging from I enjoy it like I enjoy all the Treks to it's my favorite of all the modern series, which is 5 now. I don't get it. It's not funny to me. Or I watch it, but it's no big deal. All the way to it is my favorite Star Trek of all time, which I've heard people live tell me face to face at times, which I get because it's actually honoring all the Treks if you watch. Remember the folks that said they were ignoring DS9? Yeah, I remember them too. Silly fan kids. So here's how this breakdown went. Again, with the caveat that one of the answers was it's in my top 3 or 4 of all time, which is a niche. That's the interesting thing about this is people have their layers. It's like an old Jello 1, 2, 3. Look it up. So here's how it broke down, which was kind of a little surprising here. Going from no one this time around answered the I'd like to watch it, but I'm unable to for tech or money or whatever situation. So everybody that answered had an opinion based on that. I had no one also answered the I don't get it, it's not funny option. No one, 0, said that I watch it, but it's low on my favorites. Okay. I mean, I'd love to go back and get how we didn't sample exactly this question to question, but we had at least after a year or during the first year, we did some kind of a survey. I need to go back and find those. I had one person out of this sample, which was about 3% of everybody on my list. So it's small, but there you go. It's probably a larger sample than some of these political polls recently have been based on. I had one person say it's my favorite of all the Treks, which was interesting. I think I probably had 6 or 7 at least say it's in my favorite 3 or 4, but we didn't go there. We did have 7 say I watch it, but it's low on my favorites. 6 people, 14%. Okay. I take that back. We did have 2 that said they were unable to watch tech-wise. 6% said, or 6 people, 14% said I watch it, but it's low on my Treks. Really, the biggest chunks were these top 2. 15 people, 34%, so over a third, said it was their favorite of all the modern Treks. There you go. And the slightly bigger chunk, another slightly big third, nearly 40%, said they just enjoy it like all the others. It's like my famous D when I do the hands up polling at cons and we go through and see what people's favorites are. And it's a D, all the above, don't make me choose. So the biggest chunk are people that 40% didn't have a clear favorite. It's just in the mix of all the Trek they do enjoy. But the next batch, a third of my list said it was their favorite of all the modern shows. So there you go. Then it jumps down to, again, about 14% said they watch it, but it's low on their Treks. So I'm still trying to understand because I don't know about you all. You jump in chat and let's talk about this. I think this is, I don't want to say unique among all the Treks. It feels like people either tend to like one or tend to not, or things, or things. I mean, sorry, but I think in the big picture, over time, Strange New Worlds right now is more popular than Discovery and Picard, with the 3rd season reunion yet to be seen, with Picard somewhere kind of in the wishy middle. And I still feel like Prodigy just hasn't been seen by a lot of people to be aware of it. They think, oh, it's the kids show, and don't know how insane it's getting. So that may radically start shifting now. We keep having Borg shows, and Aaron Walke has talked something about Romulans in the back end. And now there's all kinds of talk about the Romulan Borg connection from Picard popping up, which is still a few years away, but the backstory of Picard season 1 and the artifact cube would have been, I mean, there's chatter about that, and it's fascinating. And Aaron even kind of threw a little gasoline on that in a small way. Oh, that could be. This is an interesting theory. Because they've done 40 episodes, gang. They've done 40. It's not like this is a story that's being wobbled around. They've done 30 with the last 10 in process. So the basic narrative of Prodigy is pretty much laid down unless we're talking about some really deep cuts further down the road. It's like Lower Decks went from universal wariness to universal love, to the Easter eggers clipping everything from week to week. Hasn't been such an Easter eggy season for visuals. We didn't have the Trebalian Trade Council or whatever. And then the season ended up so fast. I don't know that I saw a lot of discussion about it or saw a lot of fan love, but people love memeing and clipping Lower Decks. And I think they've pioneered a way, a lot like, say, MASH, live action, I know, but a lot to be able to have serious, even among the jokes and even among the personal arcs of the characters. And it's only being 23 minutes of story, bundling together the tone of the show and making it accessible to people, understanding it and liking it. And then the character arcs and development. And there is a lot of that for almost all the characters now after 30 episodes, but also some stakes in the greater Star Trek universe. The idea that a Klingon renegade warlord was supplying the Packlids. Packlids were, on the surface, the perfect villain for underachieving a series. But then you see how they're not underachieving and how the broader world is tying in. And yay for T'Lyn from the Vulcan outcast from her science ship coming in as a provisional officer on the Cerritos. That will be interesting, bringing the Vulcan comic potential to Lower Decks. But I don't know if any one of the other episodes, it feels like there's pretty much a preponderance feeling about every other series. And I don't want to say Lower Decks, black and white, love, hated. I'm talking about the spectrum of where people are with Lower Decks, which may be simplified. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for coming in, finding me on the road, which I guess was the same. Thanks for your patience. And thanks especially to all of our Patreon folk, our TTL club there, Diana Hopkins, Lawrence Todd, Keith Rombach, Blaze K, Robin Wilson, Anne Marie Siegel, Justin Porteous, Nathaniel Robinson, Andrew Jazimski, and Pranakasha Productions, and our live wires, Rusty Harold, Hubbard Gunn Johnson, Robert McLean, Alan Hoensi, J.R. Poole, Byron Bailey, Dave Gregory, Gay Clevin Lundstrom, and Casey Shafsky. Thanks so much. And if you want to be in the bunch, it's patreon.com/Trekland Live, $5 and $10 a month. Get you a shout out. And we are actually really working on that access, gang. The big thing I should have said up front, and they're starting to come in now, very excited about some special Trekland Treks. This is especially for the cruisers in LA the day before and the day after. They disembark and re-embark the official Star Trek cruise next February. We've got a day, special LA away days, set tours to 4 classic location sites around LA. It's preset. I can take up to 18 on the single bus. We'll see how many we have. We've got folks have been putting in for it. So we're on the way on both days, as a matter of fact. You can go LarryNemecek.com, see the info and check it out. Ask me questions if you have them. Also there, you can see what's happening here with the Geek Nation tour, the big one, the West Coast Away tour, the 10 days. It'll be in July. It's standalone, LA and San Francisco, with special guests. We've got celebrities lined up already. We'll be having some more of the actors and behind the scenes folks coming along later. That's all. You can even do the QR code. That's all happening. And then, yay, the Trek Files is up. You can catch us at Trek Files with the document at Facebook. Of course, you can get the audio anywhere, but the documents are on Facebook. And it's at podcast.roddenberry.com. But our guest this week is Hannah Louise Shearer, who some of you will remember that name. She came in at midpoint of the first season, stayed for the first half of the second season, as it's Chaos on the Bridge days, and she's a sweetheart, and she had some interesting stories that came in and pitches and things that her name is on and things that her name is not on. But Trek Files is back as it is always Tuesday. We're in our 9th season. Check that out too. And everybody, our socials at Larry Nemecek on Twitter, and it's really Larry Nemecek's Trekland on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram. Love for you to join us on Instagram. And if you're curious, I keep mentioning Portal 47 and our roundtables and guest night. Open house is coming up in the next few weeks. Coming in November, we're going to announce the date very quickly. I've got the guest hashed out. Got some interesting guests coming up for our Portal guest nights coming up, led by our open house guests. But the open house is open to everybody. It's a free night for everybody to come in. We will have a mini Ask Dr. Trek roundtable. We'll have some giveaways like door prizes. You don't want to miss it. This is the 7th anniversary for Portal. It's how we celebrate that and let the world know what's going on. That and the Trekland Treks are happening, whether they're custom, as always, anytime, or these special ones that I announced. Love to have you come check all that. You can all get it at LarryNemecek.com as usual. The TeePublic store has been having these flash sales, so you almost never know, but we've got the Trekland store there too. Logos on things, some fun stuff coming. We even have a holiday logo up for right now that'll go away for the holidays. I'm going to have to get one of those. So, as usual, thanks everybody for joining us on Tuesday. Hey, they're talking about the recurrence of flu, the viral that's attacking the kids in a lot of states. Look, we're going to be in a period, it feels like, where our immunity is going to be under attack for a while. So just be smart. Just take care of yourself. Okay? Stay healthy. Do all the things. Stay woke to the world around you. Check the sources. You know what I mean. Maybe I'll see some of you on Mastodon soon, but I'm not leaving Twitter. Trek well, everybody.